Hello again. We've not been having a very good afternoon at all. I've been trying to teach Rue and Ellie how to play a game together, and it's the game of noughts and crosses. I don't know if you already know how to play that. If you don't, I'm just going to quickly show you that you have a grid like this, and you have to, I'll just put you there for a minute. I know you've been arguing, but you choose a cross or a circle each. Now Rue is a cross and Ellie is a circle, and the idea is that you take turns to put your circle or cross in a square, and the one that gets 3 in a row is a winner. So for example, Ellie could put her circle there, Rue could put her cross there, so then it's Ellie's turn. She might put a circle there, and then Rue might put her cross there, and then if Ellie puts her circle there, she's got 3 in a row, so she's a winner. Well, that's the rules of the game, but that's not what happened this morning when they went to play. Unfortunately, this is what happened. I turned my back for 1 minute, left them to play, and this is what they came up with. And now Ellie and Rue aren't speaking again. We had a little bit of it this morning, and it seems that we carried it on the afternoon. And I think the trouble is that when you're in lockdown, you're on top of each other all the time, and you're playing together all the time, and you just don't get a break from each other sometimes, and nerves get a little bit on edge, so things start to go terribly wrong. And this afternoon it has gone terribly wrong for these. Can you see where they've gone wrong? Well, I can see straight away that I think that Rue has cheated. Because Ellie's only had 1 turn and Rue has done all these crosses, so therefore Rue has won. So they haven't played the game fairly, and now it's ended up with them both being really, really sad. Like this. This is the faces that I've got. I've got both of them like that, and if I'm really honest with you, we've had a few tears this morning as well, but that's not what we want at all, is it? Because when we're playing together, we need to play by the rules, and if we don't play by the rules, then we end up like this, falling out, not having friends, and then we end up with nobody to play with. Nobody wants to play with us anymore, and we end up having a very, very bad day. But we don't want that, do we? Of course, no, we don't. What we really want to end up with that sad face looking like this, happy. And then we know we've had really good fun. So we do need to have rules, and we have rules for all sorts of different things, don't we? We have rules for stopping at traffic lights. And why do we have to stop at traffic lights when the traffic light's red? Well, it keeps us safe. We have rules about what time school starts. If we don't have a rule about what time school starts, then if you just turn up any time during the day, then it wouldn't be fair, because some children will be having a longer day, some children will be having a shorter day. We have rules about all sorts of things, but we also have things about our behaviour that we really need to make sure that we keep on the positive, because otherwise, if we don't follow the rules of behaviour when playing a game, that's when things do go wrong. So we have rules so that we can learn. Okay? We have rules so that we can be safe. Because if we play a game, or if we do something and it's dangerous, then, and we don't follow the rules, then that's when accidents might happen. So you might find, if you were playing a game and you were playing too rough in the playground or outside, that somebody might get hurt, and that's not what we want in a game at all, because that is going to end up with tears, isn't it? We have rules to show that we can, which to show kindness. So, you know, it's important that if you're with other people, that they know that you are being kind, and the way of showing that you're kind is to think about their feelings. And if you think about somebody's feelings when you're playing a game, then you're more likely to play it fairly, and that you might understand why somebody, you might let them have a turn in the game. So you're showing kindness. So we can be happy is really important because games should be fun. We've said that, haven't we? And here it is, look, so we can have fun. If we don't join in games, sometimes we don't want to join in a game, well, that's absolutely fine. But you know, if we all know how to play games nicely, we can have a lot of fun with a lot of people safely and all together, and we can all be enjoying it. Or if we're just at home and we've got a brother or a sister that can be very annoying, then we can learn how to play along nicely with them. So this afternoon we are trying to understand why we have rules in games, and we need to teach this to Ellie and Rue because they don't understand it yet, which is why they've had a bad morning. So we know, first of all, that cheating is not a good rule of a game. It means that one person doesn't have the right amount of turns, and it's just not fair, is it? So being fair, you have to play games fairly and you have to follow the rules. I've got a few cards here and we're going to sort these out into good things in games and not good things in games. So on my board I've drawn a happy face, and this is what we want to see, and I've drawn a sad face there of things that we don't want to see. So these are like behaviours. They're not like the rules of how to actually play something, but these are the behavioural rules when we play games. So let's have a look at the first one. The first one says joining in. Now, do we think that's a good thing to do in a game or a bad thing to do in a game? Well, it depends, doesn't it? Some children don't like playing games and they don't want to join in, and that doesn't make it bad. It just means that they don't want to play, and that's fine. You don't have to play games if you don't want to. But if you have agreed to play a game and you're in the middle of a game, sort of sitting down and not joining in and just doing nothing, sometimes spoils it for the other children, even if you actually don't want to play. So if you don't want to play a game, fine, that's okay. But if you are playing, you need to join in and play it properly, as everybody else. So joining in is a good thing, I think. So I'm going to stick that here underneath joining in, because that's a positive thing. And if you join in, we'll all have fun, we'll all be together, we'll have a big smile. What about this one? Shouting at each other. Well, there's two different sorts of shouting, aren't there? Sometimes in games you have to shout, because if you were playing a team game, like a team sport, and you needed somebody to pass you the ball, you might be shouting, here, here, over here, pass it to me. And so that way, that shouting is, you know, it's part of the game that you're playing. But if you're shouting at each other in a cross way, so like the game's gone wrong and you start shouting at somebody else, that's not fun at all, is it? That's just going to upset the other person and you're going to end up with a sad face. So shouting in a cross way is not good, but shouting to somebody to get their attention is different, isn't it? What about this one? I like this one. This says congratulating. This means when you played a game and you haven't won, but the other person has won, and you say, oh, well done. I like that. I think that's a really nice thing to do at the end of the game, and it shows, we call it, you're a good sport if you've lost, but you still congratulate the other person. And I know that when you watch football on television or go to a football match or something, at the end, you know, they shake hands, don't they? So if they haven't won, they'll just shake hands with their team players to say, you know, well done. And that's good sportsmanship, and that's a good thing, congratulating, saying well done. What about this one? Not letting somebody join in. That means when you're playing a game and somebody comes along and says, can I play? And you say no. Now it might be that you're already in the middle of a game, so actually somebody joining in your game, it's just not the right time to do it because you're in the middle and you don't want to have to start again at the beginning. But if you just say no because you think, oh, I don't like you and I'm not going to let you play, well, that's not very kind, is it? And of course, you know, you might end up then just playing by yourself with not enough people to play with. So not letting somebody join in, that's going to make the person feel sad. So that's not going to make a good, happy game, is it? Because letting people join in, we said, well, that's joining in yourself, but letting others join in, that's good. Oh, what about this one, sulking? That's when you don't win, so... And that's what's happened with these two. There's been a bit of sulking going on this morning. Ellie didn't win. Well, actually, she might have done, but Rue cheated, so that was no good. And she sulked. So sulking is not a very nice behavioural thing, is it? So we don't want any sulking for a happy game. So let's put that in there. We don't want that. That's a sad thing. That's going to make us all feel miserable. Sulking. Don't like it. Oh, here's one. What about hurting? So if you don't win, so you hit somebody. Well, I know you children don't do that, but sometimes that's how you feel. When you feel inside, you feel cross, don't you, that you haven't won. And instead of congratulating the other person and thinking, do you know what, I haven't won this time, but next time I might, that's where you might hurt somebody. We don't want that, do we? But also, it might be that if we're playing a game that's a running around game, or it's a physical game, like tag, sometimes that happens. If you're running around and you have to catch somebody, we don't want to catch somebody and grab them so that we squeeze and it hurts, do we? Because that would make that other person cry, and we don't want that to happen in the game. No, we don't. Now, I know you all know all these things already because we teach them at school, and I know your mums and dads teach you these things all the time at home. But let's put hurting in that. We don't want that. We don't want that pile. So when we're playing a game at home, remember, hurting. No, we don't want to do that. It's no good. But this one's a really nice one, smiling. How do you know if somebody else is enjoying playing with you? Well, they might be smiling. And if you smile back at somebody else, then they know that you're enjoying playing with them too. And it makes everybody feel good. So let's all give each other a really big smile now. Okay, well done. So smiling is a good thing, so I'm going to put that in there. Well done. Now, so we have got all these different things here that we have decided. So the good things, joining in, good. Congratulating each other, positive. Smiling, brilliant. So hopefully that when Ellie and Rue play their game later, and they might play Naughts and Crosses, they might choose to do a different game. We'll have a see if they have a little go. Oh, playing by the rules. That was a really important one, wasn't it? Maybe that one should go up here. Oh, arguing. There's another one. Do we want that here or there? There are so many things we could have sorted out this afternoon. This is just a start. So, your task on the website, there's a little piece of paper, looks like this. And in the box at the top, there are some other things, behavioural things, that might be good things. They might be bad things that we don't want. No, see, that's my teacher's cross face. So what you've got to do is just sort out these. And they're not the same, they're different, because as I said, there's loads and loads and loads of things. You've got to sort them out. Do you think that they're good things? Smiley face. Yeah. Or bad things. And I'll just read them to you in case you're doing this by yourself at home and you can't read those words. So playing fairly, that's the top one, playing fairly. Having patience. That means, having patience means waiting and not trying to push forward. It's waiting your turn. Cheating. Crying. Arguing. Sharing. Taking turns. Snatching. So already as I read through those, I could see some of you going, oh yeah, that's a good thing, that's a bad thing. No, I don't want to do that. So I want you to sort them out, and you can write them into the boxes, which ones you think go in those, and which ones you think, and the clue is, I think there's 4 of each, so that makes it nice and easy for you. So that's your task to do. If you don't have time to do that one, don't worry, I've got a different task for you, and all I want you to do is to play a game today. It can be anything you like, but I want your mums and dads to say to me, through our telepathy that we do, whether you have played nicely with your brothers or sisters or with them, and whether you have followed all those good behaviour rules and had a really fun time. So, having fun, that's the message, and I want you to have a bit of fun by playing some sort of game sometime. It doesn't have to be today, it could be over the weekend, but whenever you can, have fun, play games. Now, what we're going to do about these two? Oh, Rue's got something to say. What's the matter, Rue? Oh, he says he understood now that he She said it's Ruth, not Rupert. Got that one wrong, didn't I? She told me that she understands that she cheated in the game and that she didn't take the right number of turns and she didn't follow the rules properly. And she's going to say sorry to Ellie, because if we do make a mistake, it's really important to say sorry. So you want to say sorry to Ellie? Oh, Ellie's got something to say. Oh. Ellie said that Rue cheated because she shouted at her, and then she sulked when she didn't win. So she wants to say sorry to Rue too. So I think they've learned something from this afternoon, and I think you children already knew that, didn't you? But sometimes we need to remind ourselves. So have fun, take care, bye.